Another heartbreaking loss for the Toronto Raptors. Another game where Kawhi Leonard has a chance to win the game, and he can't. Raptors lose, what was his final score? 123-116 in overtime to the Boston Celtics. And you know what? Kyrie Irving was incredible. Period. That's all I have to say. He's the reason he kept them in the game when they were not playing well at all. He was the reason they won the game today. And anybody saying that, any people saying, oh no, well, this guy did this guy did that. No. Kyrie Irving with 43 points and 11 assists, he won the game today. And I'm not saying I'm not a salty Raptors fan. I'm just saying that Kyrie Irving was unbelievable. And our Kawhi Leonard, look, 31 points, 15 rebounds. Looks nice. 11 for 24. 45% from the field. Not bad. 9 of 11 from the free throw line. 0 of 3 from 3. 3 steals. Again, not bad. But we can go down things down. Look, guys. The Raptors at one point in the second quarter were down by 13 points. They came back and made it 2 by the half. Reason I'm not worried about this game, guys, for one, it's a regular season affair. Doesn't really mean a whole lot. I know, guys, they've lost 3 straight games. Okay, the first 2, yeah, they were frustrating. This one, you're playing in Boston, a place you haven't won in a few years. Well, at least it feels like forever. And you're playing a team that has Kyrie Irving, who did that against the Raptors today. Look, it happened. Whatever. Doesn't matter. What I saw today was the Raptors show some heart and some fight. Now, it shouldn't have got to overtime, but it did. Like I said, guys, the Raptors were down by 2 at the half. They come out in the third quarter. They establish some dominance. At one point, they have a 10-point lead. That squanders a little bit, and then you get into the fourth quarter. Raptors build that lead back up, and we're like, all right, this is pretty good here. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Then they make a run. And the problem I have, and the thing that I saw late in the game, Raptors up by 4. 2.5 minutes left, 2 minutes left. Danny Green fouls out on, I'm kind of not really sure what. He kind of lays his hand on Tatum's back. Tatum then freaks out like a little bit of that. Referee sees the freak out, sees that they're fairly close together, and gives Danny Green his last foul, and he gets fouled out. It's a 4-point game. 2 minutes left. You're going to call that? Now, I'm not going to be complaining about referees, because I'm just complaining that he got fouled out on that. The referees were horrendous all game long for both teams. One moment, they're not calling some really hard foul. How did OG leave the game with an injury? Right, he got absolutely slaughtered underneath the basket. No call. There were times where the Celtics didn't get to the free throw line and the Raptors clobbered them. I don't understand the referees in this game. And then the refs play they play scared, you know? They're really scared in the game. Look, in that overtime, the Celtics were the better team. The Raptors maybe stopped them once, at best. But I don't think the Raptors stopped the Celtics once in the fourth quarter. You're not going to win when that happens. You also lose. And look, Danny Green, he leaves when you're up by 4 with 2 minutes left. You end up tied. And then you lose by, 9 or something? But I mean, that number is kind of skewed because of the entire game itself. No, you lost by 7. See how big of an impact Danny Green actually has? And guys, look. Their bench didn't really get a whole lot going. Morris had 11. Jaylen Brown had 7. Those are their top 2 scorers off the bench. The Raptors bench was terrible. Abysmal. Fred VanVleet, look, guys, I know what he did last season. I know what he has done. He deserved that 2-year contract at the end of that year. He's betting on himself. Well, if you're betting on yourself after today's game, Fred VanVleet didn't even get a single point, was 0 of 6 shooting, 0 of 6. All his shots were from 3. He missed all of them. He was a minus 18 on the floor. He was horrendous out there. JV looked tentative, 11 and 5. Look, Siakam was all right at 16 and 9. The starters did good. Ibaka 21 and 4. Lowry had 14.7 assists. Problem 3 of 12 shooting. And Danny Green had 11 on 4 of 10. Look, they weren't terrible. But the inability to make a clutch shot continues to haunt this Raptors team. And I don't want to hear... Look, guys, I know Kawhi Leonard only played 9 games last year, and this is only game, 14 of his season? If you're Kawhi Leonard, you have played now 14 games this year. You've had 2 chances to hit a buzzer beater and win the game for your team. The last one, you lost it in regulation. This time, in overtime. When it went to overtime against Boston, in Boston, you know what? At that point, I was like, this might be a miracle. And it showed in overtime. You also lost Siakam late. So, 2 guys fouled out in the game today. And I don't want to hear, guys, look, I'm a Raptors fan. Die-hard Raptor fan. But Raptor fans, let me have a heart-to-heart here. Because I know there's going to be Celtic fans who are going to be chirping the Raptors, and rightfully so. That is this world. Raptor fans, they chirp the Celtics. It happens. That's social media. It's the way she goes. But Raptor fans, please, 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 if you guys are at least this deep in the video, I applaud you. Don't go out there and start saying, oh, the referees were all over the Celtics. It's Raptors versus refs. No, please don't. Because this was not the case. In a couple instances, maybe it felt like it. But in a couple instances, it was the other way as well. So, let's not hype on them, all right? The inability to start on time and the inability to close. We've talked about it all year long. It's not who has the biggest run or who has the biggest lead. It's who plays the best in the big moments of the game. The Raptors did not start good. Like I said, in mid-second quarter, they're down by 13. Not where you want to be in Boston. How'd they close the game? Well, at one point, you were up by 8. You end up tied after 4. Then you lose by 7 in overtime. You didn't start good. You didn't close good. They made their clutch shots when they needed to. Plain and simple. The reason I'm not so angry is because the Raptors just flat out did not play very well in the key moments of the game. I loved from the mid-second through the second, through the third, and about 3 minutes into the fourth quarter. I loved that stretch. But the outside spots, when you need to be good, they were not. Plain and simple. Now, ideally, they said a number. It was like the last 8 or 10 meetings, or maybe even 12 meetings between the Raptors and Celtics. The home team has won every single time. Tells you how hostile the buildings are, and it tells you how good those teams are in their own building. You saw it with Boston last year in the playoffs. They were incredible at home. You know, I mean, they didn't lose a home game until Game 7 against LeBron. They're a good home team. They're a good team nonetheless. Guys, I told you in the last video, just because their record is 8-6, you cannot take that team lightly. And the Raptors didn't, but they lost. 12-4, the Raptors are on the year, and it sucks, yes, but you gotta shake it off. And the good news about right now, guys, the Raptors shake it off, and they go to Chicago taking on the Bulls, guys. The Chicago Bulls are a 4-11 team. I don't care who they have. I don't care if it's Zach LaVine. Look, he's an amazing player. I get it. They're injured. They don't have a lot of key guys, all right? Portis is injured. Chris Dunn is injured. Markkanen is still hurt. Guys, other than Zach LaVine, who are their threats? I'm going to go through it right now with you guys. Jabari Parker, Wendell Carter Jr., maybe. And obviously Zach LaVine. Who else? The Raptors play a back-to-back. I don't think Kawhi Leonard is going to play tomorrow. With or without Kawhi, this team has to win tomorrow for a few reasons. Number one, this game tonight, you get to shake it off and get back feeling good quickly instead of letting this thing dwell for days on end before you play again. And you don't want to lose 4 straight. You just don't. So, look, I'm shocked I'm doing this, but I got to give credit where credit is due. Tip of the cap to the Boston Celtics and more or less Kyrie Irving himself. Great game. Good game. It was a fun game to watch. All it is a regular season game, guys. I was mad about the last game because of how it ended. This game, the Raptors just beat themselves. in the first quarter and late in the game, period. So, you know what? Were there positives to take from this game? Yeah, the fact that this team never quit. But what we haven't seen is Kawhi Leonard be clutch. We got him to be clutch. We know DeMar DeRozan is, quote, quote, the choke artist, even though he's still one of the greatest Raptors of all time. But we haven't seen it from Kawhi yet. Now, it is still early in the year, and as the season progresses, we still play Boston 2 more times, one at home, one on the road. There's still a ton of basketball, guys. They're 9-6, we're 12-4. That is it. That's really all this game matters. Great game by the Celtics to come out with the overtime victory at home. They're fired up. I don't blame them. If we won at home in overtime against Boston, I'd be fired up. It's just this. It's the sport, guys. It happens, you know. And you got to get back at it tomorrow. I know Raptor fans. We're gonna be blaming Kawhi. Everyone's gonna say, "Oh, Greg, Kawhi sucks. He's not even clutch." Look, easy now. All right, breathe a little bit. We got to relax a little bit and move on to tomorrow. All right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you guys enjoyed the video and you guys enjoyed the game overall, because it was quite an entertaining affair, that's for darn sure. Smack that like button. Do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below. What'd you guys think of the game overall? Any key points in the game you guys want to talk about? Look, guys, in that point where the Raptors were playing so well, their defense was incredible. I was proud of them for that. Just didn't come away with the victory on the road in Boston. Not easy to do. They don't get the job done today. All right, I want to hear what you guys have to say about this game, about this video, all that great stuff. And Evan and I will talk to you guys. It'll be Thursday podcast edition. The link is in the description for the podcast channel and for the podcast itself on iTunes, guys. Twitter is also down below. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff. And I will talk to you guys Leafs edition a little bit later on tonight. Last game of the road trip, people. We're hanging in there. They play the Ducks actually starting in a few minutes here. And as they look for the sweep on the West Coast, and they're looking for 6 out of 7 wins. 6 wins of their last 7 if they get the victory today. Incredible run they're on right now without Austin Matthews. Got to do the job there tonight against the Anaheim Ducks, very struggling team. And as for the Toronto Raptors, guys, they take on the Chicago Bulls, guys, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. tip-off in Chicago. The Raptors look to erase this 3-game losing streak and get back in the win column against a struggling, unhealthy Chicago Bulls club. The Raptors, history-wise, have not been good in Chicago, but they are a much different team now. So, the Raptors, no matter who you have on the court tomorrow, you got to find a way to win. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed what I was talking about and how I was feeling towards the game. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow night as the Raptors look to get back in the win column. By the way, I'll be at my girlfriend's tomorrow, so that video will be uploaded to you guys there. All right, just a heads up about that. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll talk to you guys then.